Welcome to Chieftain Roll Call. I'm Bill Tipple, and we have three guests that will join us initially tonight. Jeremy Karg, the longtime band director at Bellefontaine High School. We have Jalen Savage, who's a junior band member, and senior band member Seth Close. This is a big time for the Bellefontaine High School band. They don't get much of a break, but certainly this time of the year, it is. It's kind of building up to a plateau, a peak, as the band will go to Orlando, Florida, right after Christmas. They'll leave December 27th and play in the Cheez-It Bowl, and that's why we have Mr. Karg on the show tonight. Chieftain Roll Call, by the way, presented by Eastern Water Solutions, and it's thanks to the Chieftain Backers, which is a new club at Bellefontaine High School. A little bit later in the show, we'll talk some Bellefontaine boys basketball. But, Jeremy, it's always good to talk. Thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having us.
And, let's talk about, we'll talk about Orlando in depth, but let's talk about the band season. What's really the season for you, I would say, or for the kids anyways, begins July. Band camps.
Yeah, we have an initial reading of some of the halftime music contest show in May, but it begins in earnest in July.
Band camps.
Yeah, band camps.
How many this past summer?
Band camps or students?
Band camps.
We have a pre-camp here at school the week before, and then we go away to Wright State. This past year we did, and we're planning on going back to Wright State again. It was a good band camp for us.
And your band camp, some people might call it band fundamentals, right here at Bellefontaine High School. Is that a constant that happens every summer?
Yes, yeah. Those 2 weeks, the first week would get together so the freshmen can learn to march and the upperclassmen can review marching, and so that we can work on the music so that when we get to band camp, we can put the music and marching together.
So at that point, you have August to kind of really put it together, where you're going to have your halftime show for the 10 football games or more if they have the playoffs. Right. And then you have band competitions. So, as we go back to the fall, how do you think it went for the Pride of the Tribe?
Sure, it was a great fall. I think we kind of we were a little bit down that we didn't qualify for state contests, but it was a big year. We came back after COVID, and things were just different. Things were a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, strenuous maybe might be the word, a little bit more, judging was a little bit more tricky, I guess is how you would put it. So, but we don't want to just go by, do we make it to state? Do we get a one at state? Because we had a lot of growth this year. Very young band, very people that had kids that had not gone to contests before, went to contests and experienced that. And so I think, getting back into it, it was a very successful year. Had a great show, Fly Me to the Moon, had a lot of good songs in it. Good growth right across the spectrum for the students and the directors alike.
I know that, every contest band wants to get to state. And I know we would talk throughout the fall, and you would say, well, we got another two, but we're close. We're close.
Yeah.
Do you ever think, it's your chance to kind of talk about the referees if you were a coach, do you ever think when you look at the judges of, man, I thought we deserved a 1, it was a 2, or maybe flip it around. Maybe sometimes you get a 1 and think, oh, I didn't think we were quite as good. So is there some subjectivity to that?
There is a lot of subjectivity to it. They came out with a rubric a few years ago to kind of quantify it a little bit more. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still very subjective. And the one contest we went to on the last day, you needed 3 1s to qualify. We got 2 1s, and then the other one of the 2s was like a very, very high 2. I mean, it was an 89 or a 79 out of 80, and you need an 80 to get it.
Oh, you were right there then.
So I keep saying we're close, but I mean we were right on the cusp. We just couldn't push it through over that goal line, but like I said, you just can't live and die by whether you make it to state, whether you get a 1 at state. There's a lot of other factors involved, and we had a good season. It was a great season, and enjoyed doing it.
Now you're getting ready for another football game.
Yeah,
not a Bellefontaine football game, but a college football game at the Cheez-It Bowl. Is it the same show that you do?
No, what we're doing is. The football game itself is between Oklahoma and Florida State. So both of their bands will be there doing the halftime show. Okay. And then at the end of that, we will be joining 8 other bands from across, really. I think there's a band from California, from Kansas, another band from Ohio, from Georgia. I think there's one from Virginia. So just all across the United States, we'll come together and we're going to perform a medley of Top Gun music. So yeah, it's
cool.
gonna be really a lot of fun.
So these other 8 bands are all high school bands?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how long have you had that music? How long have you been prepping for this?
We've been prepping for about a month. Well, maybe actually even a little bit longer than that. I'd say maybe 6 weeks on the music. Kellergard got the routine about 3 weeks ago, so they've been working on a routine. And like I said, about 6 weeks or so we've been working on it.
Okay. How do you feel right now?
I feel great. I'm really excited to get rolling. I'm not really excited about the 20-hour bus trip that we were just talking about, but I think it'll be a lot of fun because we'll be around our friends and get to watch movies and sleep all the way down and all the way back. So
And as we record this show, it's the afternoon of December 20th. A winter storm is supposed to arrive in Bellefontaine right before Christmas. So maybe you're not looking forward to that bus drive, but after the storm comes in, and
Right.
you'll be thinking, we would just want to get to where it's sunny
Right.
and warm. So
Absolutely.
there is a perk there. And we're going to certainly talk to the 2 young folks here on Chieftain Roll Call, a couple of Bellefontaine band members, about what they think about the Orlando trip. And this trip's new. This is, I can't remember, and you go back a little further than me, you're a Bellefontaine grad, but I would guess the Bellefontaine band has never played in Orlando. Is that a true statement?
No, true.
Okay.
I think I may be off of my years, but I believe the first year that the band went anywhere was under the direction of Joe Incham and Larry Walker, and they went to the Philadelphia, Boscov, Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade. And then that tradition carried on every 4 years up until this year. We were accepted to go back to the Philly Parade, but with all the COVID restrictions and whatnot, on the East Coast, I was worried that if we got into another outbreak, we'd be in, and it could be an issue like going into restaurants or going into the musicals and whatnot. So.
And you want to make it so every 4 years. So what that does, every student gets a chance to make that trip. So the last time you had a trip was 2018, pre-COVID to Philadelphia. Now I knew you graduated from Bellefontaine High in 1987. Did they do anything like this when you were a kid? No. So it probably started 90s?
92, I think 92-ish was the first year that Joe and Larry took the band out there.
Okay. What's it like to do one of these trips for the director?
Well, it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of detail work. But frankly, it's something I really love doing because the reward of seeing the students that have really never been out of Ohio before, they get on a bus, they go somewhere, and they see a whole different culture. They see a whole different world out there. So it makes it very rewarding for me. I really love doing it. I mean, it is a lot of detail work and a little bit of stress here and there, but if you get everything planned out and you hit the road, hopefully if anything happens, there's good contingency plans in place, and it's hopefully smooth.
Yeah, the game is December 29th, and so that'll be a Thursday.
Right.
When does the band leave Bellefontaine? When do they get back to Bellefontaine?
We leave Tuesday morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then we get back Saturday evening, New Year's Eve, probably around 8 or 9 o'clock, right about the time the High State Buckeyes are kicking off.
Yeah, I know you'll be following that too.
For sure.
You're on the way back. I'm not sure that everybody be on board, but you could just stop in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah,
You'll be
there
right,
you go.
right there. But so it is. You'll get about 4 days, the kids and you all together. I got to think there are some experiences that go beyond band and music. You've done this to Philadelphia before. It's not quite as far of a trip, but you're still out and as a group. What's that like? What are maybe some of the memories, or even what kids say to you when they're, a few years removed from high school? What do they say about the trip aside from the music?
Sure. Well, it's funny you ask because the last trip that I went on with the band, other than Bellefontaine, was when I taught at Indian Lake, and we actually went to the Peach Bowl, and it was on Y2K. I don't know if you remember, but it was kind of a scary time for everybody because we weren't sure, what the computer systems were going to do. We weren't sure if the cell phones were going to work. Well, actually, we had cell phones, but it was not like what we had cell phones like today. But a lot of those kids that I stay in contact with through Facebook, still talk about going to the Peach Bowl, still talk about the fun they had, and seeing Evander Holyfield there on the sidelines, and just the little things like that, little memories that pop up that they talk about. So it's a lot of fun to be able to go and do those things.
The Pride of the Tribe this year, I think, is 92 members. How many will make the trip to Florida?
82.
So pretty high,
Yeah,
pretty good.
Pretty good group.
And
We're a good group, actually.
yeah. And then, so it's you, 82 kids, Heather Johnson going?
Yeah.
Any other school people or parent people?
Well, there's 12 chaperones that are going. And then on top of that, there are some adult travelers and parents that are going along as band backers to see the kids perform at the bowl game.
Okay.
I think the total trip is right around 118 people. 107 are on the buses, and then 11 are traveling down on their own.
Okay. All right. And the game is in the afternoon, I believe?
5:30.
Okay. So late afternoon, right about when it's getting dark, actually. And whenever you talk about the two young people here, got a senior and a junior, senior to my left. That's Seth Close. Then we have Jalen Savage Jr. What their titles are in the band, and then what you know about them just as high school students as well.
Sure. Well, Seth Close is a Barry Sax section leader for the marching band.
Yep.
And in jazz band, he's taken over playing alto sax this year, and it's really been fun to see Seth grow up musically this year. And just in general, I mean, that's the best part about being a band director is you get to see these kids from the time they're in 5th grade until the time they grow up and become seniors and move on after that. But Seth, I really enjoy having Seth in jazz band and marching band. He's a great guy. Jalen Savage is a junior, and she plays French horn. She was just selected to the all-district band on French horn. So we're really pleased about that as well. She served as co-section leader of the Bellefontaine this year marching band, and she also plays trumpet and jazz band. Very good musician, just even better kid. So it's just I enjoy having both of these in the band this year.
Okay, well, let's talk to them. We'll get back to Mr. Card if we have any other questions about the trip to Orlando. By the way, the average cost per kid?
It was around $1,250.
Okay. Well, there were fundraisers.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that's good. More than the Philly trip? Do you remember how much that cost?
We unfortunately did not have more this year.
No, more cost.
Oh yeah. It was the cost for Philly. I think was about $850.
Okay.
But there was the travel wasn't as far, and we didn't have as many nights and hotels and whatnot. So.
Yeah, you weren't in the South either.
Yeah.
So you get to go where it's warm in Florida. Seth, how long you been a part of the Bellefontaine High School band? Or Bellefontaine bands in general? Might have been pre-high school.
I think it's been 8 years.
So you started 5th grade?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. How long have you been a saxophone player?
Since 5th grade.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
How have you grown? In your words, I don't know if kids really think about this, if the teachers or parents do, but how do you think you're different now than maybe a few years ago?
I feel like I've grown quite a bit since my freshman year because just I've gotten more interested into band and just enjoyed it more along the years.
What do you think about the trip to Orlando? What do you think it's going to be like?
Oh, I'm really excited for it. Like, I really want to try and just be out there, make more memories, especially on my senior year. I need to just...
Yeah, this will be it, and at least
Yeah.
for high school. What's been maybe some memories this year or any of your first 3.5 years in high school when it comes to band?
My freshman year, it was us going to state for the marching band and not being able to go to state with the concert band because COVID hit then.
That's true.
So that first half of the year, I really liked it, just
Okay.
being out in front of everybody.
Do you think you'll do anything with music after you graduate from high school?
Definitely. I'm going to try and be in a marching band in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Any idea what school?
My first idea is Akron University.
Okay. All right. Take us through what it's like to be a high school band kid throughout the week. So you got your school time,
Yeah.
You know, what time of the day the band does their stuff here at Bellefontaine High School, their practice, their classes, and then what happens, during the weeknights, then Friday night as well. So it's, it's kind of a three-part question. The school day, any of you do any practices throughout the week, and then Friday nights.
When it was marching band season, we would practice every day during school, right in the middle of the day, right after fourth period, right after A&I. Then after school, we would get together like on Tuesdays, and earlier in the year, before school started, it was Tuesdays and Thursdays. It would start 6:30 to 9, so nice weather. And then, sorry, what was the last-
Fridays.
Yeah, Fridays.
Football Fridays.
Sorry, we would get on the bus, usually around 4, 5, and then just head over to where we're going. Fun, just playing out in front of everybody. It was, for me, it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll let you recruit for the Bellefontaine band for maybe young people watching that are, junior high or even younger, or maybe even a high school kid that's thought about it but not done it yet. Why should somebody join the Bellefontaine High Marching Band?
Because it gives you a lot more memories in high school and going on. High school, a lot of people think, I just need to get through it, and I'm out of here. But for me, I like school. I like to make memories before going out into the workforce or college. I enjoy it, making new friends.
Any band member to me would be a performer. So there's lots of eyeballs on you on a football
Yes.
Friday or at a contest or, in this case, a ball game in Orlando. Is it ever, what's it like right before you go out there as a group? Is it nervous at all?
To be honest, it kind of is, because you don't know if you're going to mess up, if your peers are going to mess up, but you have to just trust them. And if it works out all well, then it's going to be a really good game and really good show.
Okay. And anything else, any other activities you do at Bellefontaine High other than band?
I used to do robotics, but not anymore.
Okay. Any idea what you'll study in college?
Most likely electrical or mechanical engineering.
Oh, very good. All right. We have Jalen Savage here. She's a junior. Jalen, your title in this year's band?
A mellophone or French horn player.
Okay. All right. What's the school year been like for you? It's already been busy. You would go back to
Yeah.
July, August, then we have the football season, we have band competition season. How do you think it's going for you and the band so far?
Crazy busy. Like, this is probably one of our most busy band seasons that I've been through personally. And I mean, it's been fun, but like it's been stressful too to get through it. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think about going to Orlando?
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's gonna be an enjoyable experience, especially since all of my friends are in band. So I mean, I'm gonna make memories with them. So yeah.
What grade did you start doing band activities?
I started band in 5th grade.
Fifth. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're a 7-year member.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get to be pretty good? I know that's a relative question, but for you, when did it kind of click that you thought you
It still
were?
has it. I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
It still has
Still
it.
working at it?
I'm just
Okay, work in
kidding.
progress. But when did it click for you?
Well, I switched to French horn in 7th grade, so I don't think it really clicked to me until like 8th grade, because that's when I started actually picking up the French horn and actually like I hated band when I played the flute before, but then once I started horn, I actually really enjoyed it and actually started.
I know we asked this to Seth, but for you, is there pressure when you go out to the Cheez-It Bowl? It's a few minutes before you're going to play. What's it like to be you?
I mean, I don't know about like the Cheez-It Bowl. It'll probably be really nerve-wracking, but like on Friday nights, it's not that bad because I'm like, if you mess up, there's not really much like on that. Like you're not gonna like get scored on that. But like on competitions, it's really nerve-wracking going out there and like
Okay.
knowing that you're like getting judged on your marching and the way you're playing. And
Any favorite band memories so far this school year?
this school year, probably just like going to competitions and stuff like that with all of my friends.
Yeah, we asked Mr. Kark about the judging, which he said is, can be a little subjective. But did you agree with the scores, disagree with the scores?
The first couple, I definitely agreed with it, but on our doubleheader day, the first contest, I definitely thought we deserved a 1 because that was like the best time we had played through it all. So I definitely think we got robbed, but
Oh, well,
yeah.
okay. What other activities do you do at Bellefontaine High?
I do orchestra and then, yeah, band and orchestra.
Oh, so you're very, very musically inclined.
Yeah.
Does one tie into the other, or they're just very different?
They kind of, like, they all go together, kind of, so.
Okay. All right. And you have new music for this show compared to
Yeah.
what you had
Yeah.
first few months of the school year. Do you feel that you and your band mates have this down?
I mean, we're getting there. I think we improve every day, but it's definitely challenging music compared to other stuff that we've played. But I think we've improved a lot while learning this music.
Okay. And we'll go back to Jeremy for that as we wrap up this segment with the Bellefontaine High School Band on Chieftain Roll Call. Would you call it a Top Gun medley?
Yes. They took Danger Zone, I Ain't Worried, and Great Balls of Fire, which are 3 songs from the different movies, the 2 movies, I guess you'd say.
Okay. And so it'll be 9 high school bands out there at the same time, right?
Uh-huh.
That'll fill up a football field, I would think.
Yeah, it will. Yes.
That's a lot of kids. Anything you have to do before you leave? Is the band, I mean, school wraps up Wednesday. That's when Wednesday afternoon, winter break hits. Then what happens between then and the 27th?
Honestly, pack the bags, get things loaded on the buses, and go. I mean, we've done a lot of preparation for this. Not only myself and staff members, but the kids. We put a lot of time and effort into this, and I think it's going to be very rewarding. As Jalen said, the music is it's pretty tricky music, and they really are sounding really good, and I'm very, very proud of them. It was arranged by one of the professors of music at Notre Dame University, so I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. So it's a fun medley to do, and looking forward to that. But as far as anything else to do, not really. Just go out and buy our deodorant and shampoo and get ready to go.
Yeah, get ready to go for sure. And any other activities in Orlando?
We're going to spend a day, 2 days in Universal. It'll be actually a day and a half. But yeah, the first day we get there, we'll have a mass band rehearsal in the morning, and then we'll spend the rest of that day at Universal. Then the next morning we'll have another mass band rehearsal, and then the game in the afternoon. And then the last day there on Friday, we'll be at Universal all day long. So the kids will get to ride roller coasters and see both Universal parks. So
you leave late Friday night then, right?
Yeah, we'll spend the whole day in the park and then leave. I'm not sure exactly what that. I think it says around 9 or 10 o'clock, something like that.
So
yeah.
Friday night you'll head back
Yeah.
to Bellefontaine. Jeremy, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thanks to Jalen Savage, who's a junior band member at Bellefontaine High School. Seth Close, who's a senior band member. Jeremy Karg's a longtime band director. And again, the pride of the tribe will play in the Cheez-It Bowl on Thursday, December 29th, 5:30. They'll actually play probably around 7:30 at halftime with 8 other high school bands from all across the U.S. So they'll be in prime time showing what they do with a new music, too. Again, it's a Top Gun medley. We're going to take a break, come back and talk Bellefontaine boys basketball. It is Chieftain Roll Call presented by Easton Water Solutions. More after this.
This is Trey Daring at Eichholtz Daring and Sanford Funeral Homes and Cremation Center. We are committed to providing professional, tailored funeral and cremation services at affordable pricing. We are part of a community where caring individuals, friends, and neighbors who consider it a privilege to serve you in your time of need. We are proud to be locally owned and operated. Our family serving your family since 1903.
Go Chiefs!
Foresight Insurance and Financial Services is a locally owned and operated financial services provider for the state of Ohio, focusing our efforts on serving the residents of Logan County and surrounding counties. We are located at 1653 US 68 North Bellefontaine. Foresight can help you with all your retirement needs. We specialize in assisting with pension options. We also offer business planning, charitable gifting strategies, as well as life and health insurance. Call today at 937-595-5002. Foresight Insurance and Financial Services, in the business of planning life.
Hello, this is Luke Varner from Easton Water Solutions. How is your water? Does your water need improved?
Put my 23 years of experience to work for you. Give me a call today, Luke Varner, Easton Water Solutions, 592-8379.
Your Realty, we value our clients and provide quality, professional services to Logan County and surrounding areas. Founded in 1988, our company prides itself on unique experiences that you can only find with us. Our area knowledge and negotiating expertise helps buyers and sellers achieve their goals. When you buy or sell with Royer Realty, you can use our moving truck free. Royer Realty, the realtors you know and trust.
Go Chiefs!
Welcome back to Chieftain Roll Call. It's presented by Easton Water Solutions, and it's also thanks to the Chieftain backers, a new club at Bellefontaine High School, which spotlights student organizations and athletics. We just got done talking to the Bellefontaine High School marching band. Good luck to them as they go to Orlando, Florida over Christmas break to play in the Cheez-It Bowl. Now we talk Bellefontaine boys basketball. We've got JV boys basketball coach Sean Egler with us, and then a couple of the varsity players, senior Keegan Overton Story and sophomore Tavian St. Clair. We're actually going to talk some JV first. That's what Sean coaches. Now he helps with the varsity too. So we'll certainly put a lot of time into the varsity team here on our talk this evening on Chieftain Roll Call. Sean, how's your JV team doing so far?
Right now we're competing hard. We've been in games early. We haven't really put a full game together yet, but the guys are competing. I think we're right there, pretty close to being real competitive and staying in games.
Mainly sophomores. Like, what's your grade makeup of your JV team?
We have some juniors, but yes, mainly sophomores. We have a few freshmen that do dress, but yeah, mainly just sophomores, a couple of juniors.
Okay, so the high school is a freshman team right now, I believe, or just JV?
We have JV, freshman, and varsity.
Okay, so you have three teams. So you're not going to get – can't get too many freshmen because you have a freshman team that they're going to play.
There is some that do dress with us.
Okay, all right. What do you look for? I've never really asked you this. I know we've talked sports a lot, but what do you look for in your team, whether it's this year, last year, 5 years ago? A couple, three things that Coach Egler wants to see.
Well, one, I just want guys to compete. Like, you can always tell when somebody's going hard, giving all their energy and leaving everything out there. You know, just being focused, you know, paying attention on what you're supposed to be doing any given moment, and being a great teammate. I think being a great teammate is probably the most important thing because a lot of times we get caught up in what we want to accomplish, and the ultimate goal is to win games. And you win games together. You don't win games individually. So I think being a good teammate is probably the most important thing for me.
Okay. I remember when you played basketball here. Time flies. That was like 15, 16 years ago. You were a very, very hard competitor. So I could see that answer coming from the now basketball coach. Now the varsity team, they just had an interesting weekend. They got a big win against Jonathan Alder in overtime, lost to Dublin Jerome, and we'll talk to the guys, Keegan and Tavian, about that in a moment. But the varsity team, I think right now is 2-4. But even beyond the record, just what you think of their team. I know you're there helping on the bench with Coach Stolley and Coach Brunswick, Coach Jackson as well. What do you see in this year's varsity Bellefontaine basketball team?
Well, I think so far the last few weeks, I think we've came together. I think we've found what clicks, and I think they've found how to mesh well together and be competitive and communicate and just be hard-nosed. I thought early on we were trying to figure things out, a couple of new bodies, guys who haven't really played together. Well, I think now everybody's like found their niche and how to score and where to be, and it's just coming together. And I think, you know, we haven't seen our best basketball yet.
Still growing, which that's the case for most teams in Ohio, at least at this point. They're only 5 or 6 games in. What you think the varsity does well, a couple, 3 things where you think are the strengths, and then things where you want to see some growth yet.
Well, I think as of lately, they've been really good at giving pressure, you know, making those guys feel uncomfortable. Also, I think moving the ball around, you know, getting multiple guys touches and scoring points in multiple ways, and just, you know, pushing the ball ahead, not being complacent. But what I would like to see them improve is just probably rebounding is probably the biggest thing. You know, you can never have too many rebounds. You know, rebounds also leads to second chance points and transition buckets. So I just think getting more of those, getting out in transition.
Yeah, the team that wins the rebounding battle usually wins the basketball game, no question. Any game that you would like to maybe have back for the Chiefs at 2-4?
Honestly, I think the first game of the season is Shawnee. I think maybe we weren't playing our best basketball, and we really didn't mesh well together as far as knowing where each other wanted to score and giving them to them the right spots. I think if we played them again right now, I thought it'd probably be a lot closer and more competitive. I'd really like to have that one back.
Okay.
Good news is we got them again.
You do get them again. Next time will be at Bellefontaine High, and they're usually very good in basketball as well. What do you see in the two young men here? You get to speak for Coach Stolle. He couldn't make it tonight. He's out scouting. So, Sean is I know he's the JV coach, but he's really a varsity coach as well. He helps during practices and games. We have a senior, Keegan Overton Story. What you see in his game, and also what you see about him as a person.
Honestly, Keegan has grown a lot. I did coach Keegan when he was a freshman here. And just coming from his freshman year, I think he's a lot more focused. He takes things a lot more serious. He's finishing a lot better around the rim. He's actually, being available in the post. He have a big body down there. He's tough. He doesn't have much vertical, but he's tough, big body to box out, so he's pretty tenacious on the rebound.
Yeah, big guy, no question. If you know, it's hard to maybe tell here on our show, but he was a big, strong guy. He's a lineman in football, two-way lineman. What you see in the new guy, when I say that, he hasn't played basketball for a few years here in sophomore JV in St. Clair.
Right, yeah. Early on, I thought maybe he was just trying to figure out, how to score in the offense. He was learning play, so, not playing for a little while. Sometimes it takes you a while to get engaged and figure out what you want to do. But I think now, he's been really steady, really consistent, looking for a shot, and he just has more confidence out there. I think some of the guys are telling him, hey, we need you to step it up. And, he's a guy he's a competitor. So if somebody tells him he needs to do more or be better, I think he's going to step up and do what he needs to do.
Okay. Does the team have what you would consider a leader or a couple leaders, the varsity team?
Yeah, I think Riley for sure is a guy who likes to get guys in the right spot and talk to guys and try and get guys together and calm guys down. Obviously you got Carter Snap and Keegan. Those guys are seniors. They're leaders. They've came back. So they know the offense. They know what to expect. They know what the standard is. So, those three guys are pretty much holding them down.
Okay. Well, let's talk to the student athletes. Thanks to Sean Egler for his input. He's the JV boys basketball coach, also helps out with the varsity. We have Keegan Overton Story, a senior, then Tavian St. Clair, a sophomore. We'll start with Keegan. What do you make of the season so far, 6 games in?
Honestly, I think we've came a long way since last year. I think we're more put together this year, and we can compete a lot more. Last year, we were just kind of finding ourselves, and we had to come together as a team. And this year, I think we're moving along, and we got a lot to do.
So basically, you think you're a better team. Where are you better basketball wise? Is it the offense, defense, shooting? What would be some things?
Both offense and defense. Our defense is definitely way better from last year. We're holding teams to under 30.5, and our offense definitely needs improved this year more than our defense, I think. But just both sides of the ball, we are much more improved than last year.
What do you like about playing basketball?
I'm very competitive. I like to compete. So football, you compete as well, but basketball, you can go at a guy. Other than in football, it's kind of like, okay, you got the same guy every time. This time, you can prove to a team that you can be better and you can go at them and be competitive.
Where do you think you've gotten better? I know the coach talked about that, but when you think back 2 or 3 years ago, where have you really grown?
Definitely my speed and agility. Over the years, I've focused on football a lot and gotten bigger, and slow came with that. So I definitely have gotten a lot better with my speed and agility. I'm better on defense.
Okay.
I can move on offense.
Your win on last Friday was against Jonathan Alder, and I don't know if Coach Stolle or Coach Egler or anybody talked about it, but I looked this up after the game. The Chiefs had never beaten Alder since Alder came into the CBC in boys basketball. Was that talked about after the game at all?
Yeah, a little bit. We were just excited that we won. It was a really good win for us. Got our confidence up, and I don't think we really talked about not winning in 6 years. But
okay, well, and it was a back and forth game. I think at the half the Chiefs led by 1. I I think after 3 quarters, the Chiefs led by 4. But then in the fourth quarter, early to mid fourth quarter, Alder went in front. So, how big of a deal is it that the Chiefs found a way to come from behind, force overtime, and win the game?
It was big for us. Tavian hit a big shot. Jacob hit 2 really good threes there in the fourth quarter. He also hit one in overtime. It was huge for us. Guys were able to go out there and have the confidence to take shots that other guys might not be able to take. It was just a big step for us.
Yeah, when you said Jacob, that's sophomore Jacob Salyer. I mean, it was sophomore here. So there's a mix. There's some young guys and some older guys on this team. Any player that's been a surprise to you? Did you know much about Tavian's game before the season?
Yeah, Tavian's really surprised me in a way. His athleticism is unbelievable. I haven't seen a guy like that ever. He can just slam the ball like it's nothing. He's definitely surprised me.
Okay. All right. Would you say you're one of the leaders on the team?
Yes, at times, but I think it's more of like a group leadership. It's not just one of us standing out and taking charge. I think we all have our times and our moments where we're picking guys up and leading guys to spots. And
any plans after high school? Any academically, athletically, job-wise, life-wise? Where will you be a few months from now?
Yes, I haven't made a decision whether or not I want to play football in college, but I'm looking to get my associate's degree in business and then hopefully do real estate after that. But if I plan on going to a 4-year college for football, then I'll do that.
Okay, all right. What makes you? We'll take it on the positive side. What makes you want to do football? You still got some more of that in you think?
Yeah, I really miss it. Just going out there to practice every day, winning obviously, but there's something about it. I just want to play it.
Okay, all right. Any other activities you do at Bellefontaine High? I know you do football and basketball. Anything else?
I'm in DECA. That's about it.
Okay, well, that'd be good for the real estate work if you go that track. Tavian St. Clair is here as well. He's a sophomore. His name is well known for football fame, but now here he is as a basketball player. And I think the last time you played was 7th grade. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What made you decide to do it?
It was mostly just that, like, I missed it. I felt like I could come out and help the team. So, I talked with my parents about it for a long time, and I felt like it was just the right move. I could, run around a little bit this winter and lift at the same time, like get big and fast. So I felt like it was a good choice to come out this winter.
Is basketball, as a player, I'm talking as an athlete, is it similar to football or it's a different deal?
To me, I'd say they're pretty similar, just because you got to be competitive in both. It's kind of, for my role in football as a quarterback and on the basketball court, since there's not as many players, it's individually you got to do your job every time you're run down the court or anything like that. So if you don't do your job, your team's going to get exposed for it. So, it's kind of just like football. If I don't do my job, then my team won't do well in it.
Now, last Friday in the win, Keegan already talked about this, but you hit a big 3 with, I think, 7 seconds to go in regulation to tie the game and then force overtime. Were you supposed to get the shot, or just worked out that way in that particular set?
Yeah, so I caught the ball, and the guy was playing back off of me, and I hesitated for a second, but I just knew it was an open shot that I needed to take, so I shot it. It wasn't really necessarily designed for that, but I felt like it was the right time to shoot it.
Yeah,
so.
and you made it. He's nothing but net, and then overtime the Chiefs went. What was it like for you and the players after the game was won, after you had beaten Alder? What was it like in the locker room?
I'd say it was pretty crazy just because, like you said, like there hadn't been a big win against a team like that in a long time. So the fact that we beat a team that was at the top of the league, where not a lot of people thought we would, just kind of gave us a lot of confidence, and we feel like we can play with anybody. So.
Okay. The next night, the Chiefs played Dublin Jerome and lost by 15. I did not get to see that game, so we'll get your perspective as a player. Did the Chiefs not play as well? Was Jerome different than Alder? How can you compare and contrast the two nights?
I mean, offensively, we weren't that bad. I mean, we scored like 59, close to 60 points, so it wasn't a bad offensive night necessarily. But Defensively, we kind of broke down around the third quarter. They had a few consecutive three-pointers and put them up big. So they were a really good shooting team. I mean, they scored like 74 or something like that. So, offensively, they were really strong. We just couldn't make the adjustments quick enough, and they got a hold of us.
And on the basketball team this year, who would you say the leaders are for the Chiefs?
Any one of the seniors, they're all great about how they lead. Riley Neer, C.J. Wilson, people like that just are natural-born leaders, are constantly leading, so it's what they do. So they know how to do it and when to do it, and it's just really helpful to have people that, have played basketball that can help.
When the guys heard you were playing basketball, which I'm sure was, I don't know if it was during football still or right after football, but you have a lot of your teammates that are football players too. Keegan Overton Story's a lineman, C.J. Wilson, Riley Neer, Carter Snap. What did they say to you when they heard you were going to do it?
To be honest, a lot of them were just saying, I better get a dunk. That's all I kept hearing. Or they would throw me an alley-oop in the game. But I know they were, a lot of them were really excited just because they felt like it'd be another piece that we could add to our team, more height, length. So they were excited.
And you're very well known for football around here and even, throughout the nation. I mean, as a freshman, you got some big college offers. Do you still do football stuff, to be one of these big recruits like you? It's still only in 10th grade, but do you do football stuff, throughout the winter? Obviously, you're playing basketball, but you have to do some football responsibility as well.
Yeah, so I'm still in contact with all the coaches constantly. Whenever they want to get on a call, I'll get on it with them. But as far as, practicing football, it's more of, practice for basketball right now. I lift and stuff still, around the football team. So I'm still involved with that. But once basketball's over, it'll just be a lot of focus on football. But yeah, that's about where I am right now.
It's still early. Do you have any certain school you like, or if you don't even have one yet, what will tip you to say that's the school I want to go to?
Right now, what I look for is just the comfortability. If it's comfortable where I go and the coaches and staff treat my family with respect, then I like that place a lot. And if we go there and they instantly are waiting for us at the door, they greet us kindly and stuff like that, and that's something I notice. But it's got to be the right environment. I mean, if the staff's constantly changing, or it's up and down and the record's not as good, or like I said, the new staff just isn't what we think it is, then I want to go somewhere that's consistent and where I can be at my best.
Now, many of us, well, maybe Sean might be different because he was a very good football player too. But and Keegan's going to have his chances. I guess I'm the ad duck. I never had these chances. But to have all this attention, is it fun? Does it get old? What's it like to be a high school student like you?
I say it's fun just because when I've been dreaming about this for a long time. I wanted it, and now that it's here, the fact that you get to almost just look back and see what you've done up to this point, and get the opportunity where people are constantly asking you questions about what's the next trip coming up and stuff like that. It's just really fun to share. So
okay, now back to basketball, and we'll wrap it up. Still early in the year, 6 games in, so a little over quarter of the season. Where do you think the Chiefs need to grow as a team?
I'd say that sometimes we kind of lack communication. There could be a lot more times where we just communicate on the defensive side, and I feel like with our length and size that we can, make some people mess up, and I feel like just the communication side of it will benefit us to, play strong as a team.
Friday at Indian Lake. I know you didn't play last year, but this is kind of a rival. Last year they beat the Chiefs. What kind of a game you anticipate Friday?
I'm anticipating a tough game. They're a pretty good team, so we know that we're gonna have to give it our all. But we're like we said after the Alder game, we built some confidence up, and playing a really good Dublin Jerome team, I think, has kind of showed us what we can do and how many points we can put up. So with strong defense, any game that we play will be a good game.
Any football player or basketball player you model your games after?
Not really in basketball, but football, I don't know. Any good quarterback is who I'm trying to be like. So in basketball, I just go out there and play. I don't really think about it too much.
And was Keegan, kidding us, or you really can dunk a basketball easy?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay, all right. All right. Any in a game yet?
Nah, I've done it in scrimmages, but it's just in the moment I haven't done it yet. You can ask Coach Hayes. In practice, I can.
Yeah, I can confirm. Yeah, he can do pretty well.
Pretty easily. It's great.
Okay. Any other guys on the team?
There's some guys that are close. I think Carter Snap can dunk it.
Carter can.
I saw Reams attempting. He was pretty close. Chris Fogan actually did get a dunk off in practice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Galen Oregon, he tries to dunk all the time, every day.
Yeah, every day.
He's gotten a few off in the oxygen, but none in the main. So,
okay.
I mean, there's some athletes out there that can jump. They can put it down. I get in the right spot.
Right. Well, I think we'll probably see one sooner rather than later. I will ask this to Coach Sean. Friday at Indian Lake, that's a big game. It's a crossover game, so it doesn't really count in the league standings, but it does count to the players and the people watching, even though it's not a league game. And Indian Lake's been pretty good the last few years. They had a heck of a team last year. What kind of a game you expect this weekend?
Basically, just like what Tavian said, I think it'll be really competitive. I think it'll be up and down, back and forth. But I think at the end, I think our size and our grit and our toughness, I think will prevail in the end. They're a team that likes to shoot a lot of threes and likes to run the floor and be finessed. But I think, we wear them down with our size and our athleticism, being competitive, flying around on defense. I think we'll come out on top. But I think it'll be back and forth throughout.
Yeah, got to cover the shooters.
Yes, got to.
Yeah, they will
rebound the basketball.
Yeah. Sean, thanks for coming on. Have a good Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
Keegan, thanks for coming on. Yep. Good luck after high school, whatever route you go. Tavian, thanks for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to all of our guests. Earlier, we had the Bellefontaine High School Marching Band. They're getting ready to go to Orlando, Florida for the Cheez-It Bowl. Our show each week is presented by Easton Water Solutions. It is Chieftain Roll Call. Thanks to our guests, Sean Egler, Keegan Overton Story, Tavian St. Clair. Then earlier, Jeremy Karg, Seth Close, and Jalen Savage. For all of them, I'm Bill Tipple saying have a good week and Merry Christmas. Take care.